Hey YouTube fam, I know it's been a while since I've been online. Things have just been truly crazy, and I plan to do a life update because I think I'm borrowing someone else's life besides for the pandemic and everything that's going on. So I decided to share kind of some updates that I did with my budget planner. This is something completely different, and then maybe you can understand where I'm coming from with that, but let's just get into. So, I mean, it's just a pocket. I don't keep much in my pockets. These are from cloth and paper. I keep like a little bill cheat sheet that tells me when my bills are due and if I paid off anything and any changes. So, and it's almost time for me to redo another one of those because I've been really working to pay off debt. I'm not for sure where I got this planner girl from. She was a freebie from something I purchased and I used the code, but I don't remember. I got this from EO Edits. This was a free printable for some grids on Post-it notes. So I posted these on transparent and I posted these on purple. You'll notice that all of my other planners are basically black, but my budget planner, I had to make it my favorite color because I needed to see my favorite color. I wanted to be happy when I thought about my budget. And I'm not saying that black doesn't make me happy, but it was just more of, it gives me, when I see purple, I get excited about the purple, and then it makes me kind of overall excited. And the other planner, since and to be honest, I don't even like this shade of purple, but because it's purple, I can't explain it, but it's a way that it kind of gives me a little bit of joy. From my planner's perspective, I can't find the shade of purple that I like, so I just stick with black, and that is what it is. So I got these printables from Sessa Vee, and this was the monthly overview. And so I made my own dividers, and I kind of split this up in different ways. So my overview has the holidays and a quick year at a glance type situation there. And then it has 2021, and then just useful things that I need to make note of. Here, if you've seen my update to my, and I don't even know if I filmed it because I haven't, I'm gonna be honest, I have not used my bullet journal in a while, but on the inside cover, I copied the paper that came from one of the jewel boxes, and I copied it in black on toner, and then I took it and foiled it, and this is the negative from the foil. So I don't, planner girls, we don't throw nothing away. So here's my goals, and I kind of removed some of the things from out of my goals, but for the most part, I'm using the Sessa Vee printable for the overview in A5, and this one I'm tracking my debt or my spending. So all of my expenses and spending by on this biannual, so on 4 pages. So I just filled it in, so it's time for me to fill in March. And then I have my debt payment plan on things that I want to pay off, what my interest rates are, goals on how I want to do that. And I'm using this quarterly calendar just to do debt breakdown, what my total debt is in certain categories. And then monthly. And I do this so I can see it go down. So, and it's been an interesting journey. One of the main reasons why I'm really focusing on redoing my budgeting is my company that I've worked for 20 years in September was acquired by another company, I want to say almost 2 years ago. And as part of the acquisition in July, our pay is changing from bi-weekly to bi-monthly. So where I used to get paid every other week and it was the same schedule as my husband's, now I'm going to be getting paid on the 15th and the last day. So that's a lot of adjustments on how I do my bills. And it was really the wake-up call saying, LaWanda, you need to get your ish together and stop getting over focused with colors and stickers and all the other stuff, and focus on the basics. And so that's why I just revamped my whole budget. So different things, and I love these. Matter of fact, Cloth and Paper have these, and I do have some from Cloth and Paper in my A5. These are the Cornell notes, but there are so many different shops. I know Little Fancy Plans, which is at home at Kita, she has a version. Simply Trendy Co, this is where I got these from. They have a version. So if you want to do a printable versus, buying it from cloth and paper and just getting it, I would suggest printing it on either 28-pound or 32-pound paper. This is all on 32-pound paper, so I can get that cloth and paper feel. But my cloth and paper stuff is exclusively, and I do mean exclusively, for my work planner. So, okay. And so here's my little task list that I have for my goals that I want to make available, and how I'm doing things. I'm not following anyone's program per se. This is not a debt snowball. This is not an avalanche. This is not the budget mom. This is what makes sense for me and my family, right? So things like I paid off my Lowe's card. I'm going to pay off my ViStar Visa card. I'm paying off things for me based on the interest rate, because I know mathematically that I'm paying more if for things that have a higher interest rate. And so that's why I've gotten rid of certain things. PayPal, I have something on my PayPal which I'm going to pay off, but right now, because of what it was 0%, so it wasn't a high demand for me, but it will be paid off April next month, right? So, and I just covered up this right here, but like the way I'm doing things is like T-Mobile. For example, I pay $211 right now for T-Mobile. I have 3 phones, unlimited, for all 3 lines. And I want to say in 2018, I wind up buying 3 phones. Now, normally I don't buy 3 phones at the same time, but I brought my mom a phone, which my mom is older. She doesn't really care for all the gadgets and gadgets and the high-tech phone. She just wanted a cell phone. Okay, boom. I brought my mom a phone. I brought my son a phone, and my phone died. Like I went to work one day and it had a seizure and it never recovered. So, and to get an idea of how often I don't buy phones, that phone was a Samsung Galaxy Note 4. That was the last model that you can literally take the back off and change the battery out. So my phone died, which I swear they sent something to kill that phone. And then the only phone that was available at the time was a Note, was not a Note. It was a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. So and it was in lavender. So I went ahead and got that phone, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, by the end of this year, if they do come out with an S10, or excuse me, an S11 Note, your girl might pick that up and give my mom this phone, because it really doesn't matter. Like I said, she doesn't care, but I might upgrade them. But for the most part, how the payment plans are set up, my mom's phone was $9 a month, and my son's phone was $30 a month, and my phone was $30 a month. So they're all coming to the point where, like, my mom's phone is paid off, and that $9, I'm going to apply it to my son's phone for April and May. And then June, my phone pays off in May. So in June, the $30 I was paying for my phone, I'm going to pay off that. And these, just by doing this, pays off all of our phones at the end of June. So July, my bill goes down to $142, which saves me $69 a month. Yes, I could let my bill slowly drop and let it run out to September, but why? I'm used to paying it. I don't have a problem with paying it. So let's just make the adjustments, pay the extra. So I made myself little check marks and went from there. So, and this is just how I keep track of some of the things that I'm doing to make sure that I am staying focused. And it's a lot of scribble scrabble. So here's where I made my biggest change with my budget planner. So I think I accidentally purchased the A5 Sessa Vee month on 2 page, which is okay, because it was already in my arsenal, and I did a horrible job cutting the first, I was going to redo April, but I did a horrible job cutting it. But May wasn't so bad, and since it's just my planner, it doesn't bother me. So this was my problem. I got so caught up in trying to make my own little kits and make it all decorative and make it cute for me, because I don't even share this stuff with anybody, that this became my distraction. So after the March fell, I did something different for April, but then I really told myself, you know what, this doesn't matter. This is a distraction. Let's get down to the nitty gritty and get things on track. And one of the things that has been pushing me to really get my finances on track, besides for the whole pandemic situation, and one, I am truly blessed that my household has not been tremendously impacted financially because of the change. Let me tell you that, because I know that that is not the same for everyone out there. You know, my life didn't change that much. I work from home now. I worked from home prior to this for 8 years straight. So it was not a big change. My husband is an essential employee. Yes, we're worried that he does go out more, but his type of job, he's not, I can't really explain it, but it's he's an essential, but he's not in healthcare. So it's different. So what I've been doing is I went ahead and printed this May. Like I said, I jacked it up on the printing and on the cutting, because the printer printed sideways. So when I cut it, it was, yeah, whatever. But that's cool. You know, I figured I fixed it before I got to June, and I printed all my months, and I went through and address my paydays. And the main reason why I'm really focusing on my budget, like I said, is because when my company that I worked for 20 years this September, oh my God, was acquired by another company about 2 years ago. And we're in this transition phase for the past 2 years. And the biggest change that is happening for us this year is that our pay cycle will change. Now, currently, me and my husband get paid on the same days, and we get paid every other week. With this new change that's happening in July, we will go to bi-monthly, which means we'll get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. And that's a big difference when you're used to budgeting things to be every other week, like clockwork. Now you're on a different type of clockwork schedule, but it varies. Sometimes it's 15 days, sometimes it's 14 days, sometimes it's 12 or 13 days, depending on if that last day or the 15th falls on a Sunday and you get paid on the Friday before. So there's so much variance in there that I'm like, I need to tighten up on my financial plan and my budget to make sure that I can hit the goals that I want to do. So that was one of the things I told myself, that there was so many distractions and trying to figure out transition checks and paydays and everything there. So what I did was MJ and Hope had these cute sticker kit, mini kits. And originally I was looking for something that was a little bit more purple, more mauve, you know, colors that I really, really like. But, you know, I love jewel tones. So this green to black, so it goes from black to gray, but there's green in the middle, I could dig. So I brought the printable because, like I said, I'm sticking to basics. I got everything that I need from a mini standpoint to make this sucker work. So I printed those out and I have those ready to go. And then what I did is that I took the printable and I dropped the color, picked the color out of it. And so I made my own, let's see if I can, little bill-do trackers and stuff for my budget. I did that on my own, and I put some little bit of deco because I don't have like the borders and stuff, and I'll show you when I get to my weekly. Like I was doing these borders and what was coming in and different things like that. And so now I'm not doing that anymore. I already did April, like I said, before I had the epiphany. And so you get an idea, you know, how I was tracking things. But because I've had that epiphany, I am going to, because this was just the note pages from the Erin Condren. And since I don't have any more, I'm going to use this dot grid paper that I have from this, what is this? This was a Happy Notes. So I have two Happy Notes. I have, and they're both in classic. I have dot grid and I have lined. I don't know if that's the lined one that goes in there. Is it? It is. Who knew? Since I don't use the Happy Planner anymore and I really don't have a need for the dot grid, and I'm going to be honest, I probably won't use the line, but we're going to make it work. So I'm going to cut these down to A5, which sucks because when I cut this off, it's going to lose that. So I'm going to cut it in more and just, it'll have the nice faint green dots. And I'm going to cut those in and add those to my weekly and use these headers and this little bit of deco to just, like I said, get back to basics and, you know, do what I need to do. So that's already from Maine, and I'm going to get ready to set that up. Here I have my trackers. So for trackers, and I'm revamping this, but I've got these from Sessa Vee, but I'm revamping it for April. And I'm going to pull some of this junk out where I just track if I use credit, how much did I use? I'm trying not to use credit, one. Track all my cash spending so I can do a good summary like how I did for February. Where is it? Food, eating out, $5 savings, and other miscellaneous and stuff. So I can, go back and rectify that and make differences. My spending was out of control for food and supplies this March, so I just kind of gave that up. But I'm just going to add more and put that in there. And then I'm going to track my daily spending. So I'm going to go through and fill in March because I have all of the information. I just need to fill it in. And I probably can go back to January and just fill it in. And then I'm going to keep a running total for April. And so that's what I'm going to use the quarterly overview for daily. So I'm just going to go through and just track all my spending and what to put a total down to the end. I got these cute recurring tasks for Thrive on plans. I'm not sure what I'm going to use that for. It's probably just here as a placeholder, and it's probably going to wind up going somewhere else. Meal planning, I got to get back on meal planning because eating out is not an option right now, especially with everything. Like, I know that there's so let me correct myself. I've been supporting food trucks in my neighborhood and our community. And so when they have different trucks that come in on different days, I make sure I go support them because I know that those are small business owners. So I definitely support them, but I'm a parent, right? I risk me, I don't risk them. And I know that's hella backwards because if something happens to me, then, I just put them at risk, right? But I do not, I'm cooking for them daily or finding things to keep them balanced and eating in different meals and stuff like that. So I'm going to be really pushing on this meal planning so I can ring in my spending, try not to spend anything unnecessary. April will be a no spend month. So I'm definitely going full force with that and trying to really tighten up my budget and stick to the essentials. List, I don't have anything here yet for list. And then random stuff, how I just kind of go over my budgets and stuff. Wellness incentive plan. So my medical insurance company has health incentives, and we get it on a wellness card, right? And so anytime that I need to go to the doctor, or my kids need to go to the doctor, or I need to get a prescription filled, I always do the 2020 or the beginning of the year wellness incentives. And as soon as I knock those out, and literally I knock those out in the first month of January, I get money added to my card. Right now, I think I got over $300 and something because we don't get sick very often. So we haven't used it, but that's a way of me kind of having some type of insurance of covering co-payments when medical expenses or something out the blue happens. Now, I normally my company offers different wellness incentives that equals out to $1,000. And because I'm not paid, because my company, I'm not insured through my company's benefits, I'm insured through my husband's benefits, they give me the money. Of course, it's taxed. So what I was doing previous years is that I would take I would write out what those incentives are and work on them. And I normally would smash those goals, whatever that they have out there, by no later than June, and take all the money that I get extra from my paycheck, because I am salary, so I know what's paying over, and I would save that money for back to school. So because of the transition that my job is going through, going into this new system, I don't have that option per se anymore until July. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take I've been saving weekly for back to school since I don't have it, to try to get that same goal of $1,000. But then I'm taking I'm going to use the new program that starts in July for my Christmas. And so that, like I said, that's $1,000. And we get wellness, $200 for wellness. So if I buy gym equipment or tennis shoes or anything like that for wellness, then I can get reimbursed for that as well. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the wellness incentives and add that to my Christmas fund. I'm still putting money in my Christmas fund. I mean, I got 3 kids and a husband, so granted, $1,000 is not a lot, especially when you have a teenage boy, an adolescent boy, and a queen daughter. No, she's not a princess, she's a queen. So I'm just making those little things changes, but my goal was really just to get refocused. And I don't know, I know that a lot of people are in the same headspace that I'm in right now with everything going on in the world. Just that we got to refocus, we got to tighten up, and we got to make things better for us. So this is what I'm doing. I would love to hear what you guys are doing. Like I said, I'm going to do a life update video because anything that could happen has happened just about, and knock on computer that everything starts to clear up and it gets better. But like, guys, I put my house on the market, but I waited too long to put it on the market, so we took it off for the holidays, and now we try to put it back on the market, and then the market is crashing right now. And no one's really buying homes. Okay, so now like I said, I got to readjust my plan and make things differently. I need a car. Right now I'm driving on my son's car, but he'll be a senior. And I don't want to take that from him. Now, granted, if I need to get to work, I need to get to work, but I need my own car too. That's his car from his money that was saved from his child support payments for years. That's a different conversation for another day. But I made the sacrifice and never spent his child support money so I could buy him a car. So that is his vehicle. And the fact that I'm using it, bothers me. So I am trying to make adjustments there so I can get me a car. And that's why I got to get rid of any high interest debt. And to me, if it's over 10%, it's high interest. And as you see, I don't have much that's left. One being, of 10.9%, which I'm working on knocking that down and putting in as much extra resources that I have at the end of the month after I have a significant cushion. We're putting that on that to knock that down. So I want to hear what you guys are doing. These are just times where everything is uncertain, but if we stick to the basics, get our numbers right, and stick to the essentials, I think we can all pull through this better. And that's my thing. I want to be better when I come from out of this. I don't want to just survive it. I want to be better. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Remember that energy is contagious. If you put forth good energy, it will return back to you. Until next video, you guys take care. Bye.